All right, our next finalist, number 2, is Brian Goh. And Brian, so you'll have 2 to 4 minutes to make your presentation, and then you'll be receiving questions from Maria Karolaitis and Grace Liu, who's also
Okay.
one of our judges.
Yes, thank you. And just confirming that my mic is working for everybody.
You're fine.
Okay, thank you. Although I can see the infinite possibilities of AI technology, I shudder to think of the ramifications. Our predecessors forewarned us. Samuel Butler in Darwin of the Machines foresaw us, creating our own successors, becoming enslaved by machines, holding supremacy over the world. We shall find ourselves the inferior race, he said, imploring us to destroy the machinery and go back to the primeval condition of the human race. That bucolic of the vision of the world has since faded. We live in an uncanny, futuristic era. Artificial intelligence has integrated itself into our lives. It is our personal assistant, guiding our thoughts and actions. We are virtually dependent on AI. It seems as we can no longer function without it. As we tap into the surging power of AI technologies, revolutionizing lives, we must proceed with extreme caution, ward off potential risks and ethical dilemmas stemming from AI's evolution. Elon Musk's corporation, Neuralink, is a leader in AI technology. Neuralink developed a brain chip to help people suffering from extreme motor disabilities, such as ALS, a fatal and often paralyzing neurodegenerative disease. Musk's surgical robots fully eliminate the risk of human error, as coin-sized discs are implanted into the human skull, wirelessly connecting to any electronic device. Samuel Butler has foreseen the future, predicting how AI technology will enable people to transcend human potential and possibly surpass moral limits. Now, we must consider not only the benefits of AI technology, but the potential pitfalls of blindly following course. Between 2018 and 2022, Elon Musk has tried to shelter the public from the dark, scandalous truth, as Neuralink experimented on and killed more than 1,500 animals. Despite seemingly altruistic motives, concerns for safety and ethics ensued, as the corporation shrouded its progress in a cloud of mystery. When we peer behind the dark shadows of AI technology, an ominous presence lurks. Just like Frankenstein, the monster threatens to overtake us. Our dependency on AI is already starting to impact our lives and livelihood. Perhaps one day AI will render humans obsolete. Does AI pose an existential threat to humanity as so many pretend? It is the proverbial double-edged sword that we must wield with caution. The link between man and machine is too great that it should never be cut, as there is infinite potential that can come from good from AI technology, as long as we safeguard against the potential risks and effects of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian. I, for one, appreciate the energy and passion that you just brought. You have a future as a public speaker, maybe as a politician. I have a question that will be coming to you from Vice Principal Maria Karolaitis.
Brian, you did such a fantastic job with your animated voice and pacing. So well done to you on that part. I have a follow-up question for you, and it's quite suitable because about 4 years ago, I lost my father to a form of ALS, and he was wheelchair bound for about the last a good 9 years of his life. So I think it's very suitable that we were matched up for this question. So, as you stated, the benefits of AI technology far outweigh the consequences. And you mentioned Neuralink and the dark, mysterious, drawbacks of using animals for research. What do you see in the future other forms of medical advancements that AI can help out with in your future? What do you project may happen now that we can help people with ALS and their motor skills? What do you further see happening in your lifetime with medical advancements and AI?
Of course, thank you for that lovely question. And just to first say sorry for your loss, but I think that it's very important that as we move towards like an innovating medical sector, especially in these years where AI is starting to adapt. For example, when I bring up Neuralink, I talk about how like it uses surgical robots, and I think that this can actually be implemented in like the general medical sector instead of just being limited to, for example, Neuralink for now. And there's actually also medical robots which do surgeries right now in our world. Like they're being applied to some medical sectors. One, I believe, is with like hip or knee hip or knee replacements. I believe that a robot can do that. And just that in like forward, when there are going to be more and more of these kind of medical machines that can help assist humans, I think we can like transfer these kind of robots to just not only be aiming at these kind of small private sectors, but also just like be implemented in the public sector. And I think this is something that is very likely to happen, especially in our generation, as just AI and medicine are touching fields and really just trying to branch out AI to as many sectors as possible. But then we also have to think about employment, because thinking about it, there has to be these people that can still work, right? Because in our world, we can't have this kind of imbalance between man and machine where machine just completely takes over. That would just leave so many hardworking doctors that studied so many years for their jobs out of business. And that is what we have to balance, because I believe that still for now, man is still going to be more experienced than machine. For example, most of these AI machines, they still need some form of human to operate, or they need that kind of design to help even make these machines. And I feel like that is the most important part, having the balance between man and the machine, especially in these sectors of medicine and engineering, for example. Yeah, if that answers your question.
Thank you,
Okay.
Brian.
Thank you very much for those questions, and thank you, Brian, for your answer. I think highlighting AI's impact on medicine is really special. I think the fact is that COVID vaccine came about so quickly, in part due to AI's impact, and that's just one example of many impacts AI is having in medicine. All right. Next question is coming from a former participant, Grace Liu. Welcome back, and thank you for coming back and being a judge this time.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be here. And Brian, I am incredibly impressed by your presentation, whether it was your energy, like Mr. Desjardins mentioned, and your passion for this topic, and how well-spoken you are, how much depth and clarity you give in your presentation. Overall, incredible job. And my question for you, since I'm a youth researcher myself, and of course I'm interested in this topic, that's why I'm here. So you mentioned that AI is a double-edged sword that we must wield with caution. And you mentioned in your previous question how we need a balance between man and machine. So what are your thoughts on some practical solutions for fostering this kind of world, fostering more ethical AI? Since, like you mentioned, we can't stop AI becoming a huge influence in our lives. So how can we create policies or solutions in a way so that we achieve that kind of balance?
I think it's really important. Yeah, first off, thank you for the question, but I think it's very important that we have to just educate the people right now, like especially the youth, on this topic, as it's really becoming prominent in our lives. It's really like touching. I think I can say this for myself and for some of the other participants probably, that AI is really just coming about in our generation, and that it's really just touching us the most. So I think what's really important is just educate our generation and the ones after it on how AI works, and like how there needs to be this balance. But then we also have to educate like the generation before us. For example, our parents, they need to know how it works. They need to understand AI, because it's really important, because they're still going to live for so many years, and it's really important how we can just integrate this into our lives. But then at the same time, I mentioned the balance, and just especially with the balance of AI, for example, using it as a research tool, for example, trying to use ChatGPT, for example, as an idea for an essay rather than writing the entire thing out with it. That's very, very different. Like, we have to educate our generation on how that really works, and just like this real balance that has to be struck, especially in these sectors of, for now, education, as like ChatGPT, for example, is going very prominent, and for example, students using it for an unfair advantage. And it's really important that we have to what I mean by this balance between man and machine is that you don't want one to over rely on the other, meaning that one can just like sit back and the other does all the work. You have to strike this kind of balance. Sure, it would be interesting to, for example, get an essay idea out of AI, but then using it to write your entire essay is just completely unethical. So there has to be that kind of balance between, oh, I'm actually doing this, and oh, AI is helping me, instead of, oh, AI is doing it and I'm actually not doing anything at all, right? And yeah, if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you so much for your answer.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brian. Brian, where are you based?
I'm in British Columbia. I'm in West Vancouver.
Okay, and what grade are you in and what school?
I'm in grade 8. I go to Collingwood School.
Okay, thank you so much, and congratulations on being a finalist.